Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. We are here for conversation number 3 with the lovely Jessica. Today's conversation is about staying focused, keeping positive when we're going into this great season of distractions. As women, we are the keeper of all the things, and I feel like at these kinds of times of the year, I know for myself, I get super distracted in my business, and my needs take 5 rows back. And I chose you, Jessica, because I feel like you're one of the most positive hustle and flow people I know. Like you're just always getting there, and that smile, man, that smile. So if you would please introduce yourself to the peoples.
Sure. Well, you told me to bring my smile, Dawn, so I brought my smile.
Thank you.
Um, and I love the hustle and flow, title that you've given me. I'm gonna run with that.
Please do.
Um, but I'm Jessica Rowell. I am a co-founder and partner at Evolution Enterprises. We are a real estate investment firm, and we actually we buy property, sell property, flip, renovate. We hold property and rent to long-term tenants as well as short-term rentals like Airbnbs. And as of just yesterday, we're getting into the realm of new construction. So
Ooh.
yes, so it's been a very busy 24 hours, Dawn, but I'm really happy to be here with you this morning and kind of take a little break out of the hustle and bustle.
Wow.
But yeah, so we've been in business for this company we launched January of this year, so right before everything. And we have another real estate company called Real Property Solutions, which we launched August of 2019. So between the two, been in business, a little over a year, pushing maybe a year and a half. So very exciting and a
That's
very different,
awesome.
yeah,
I
very
love
different turn from what I'd done. So
Yeah, but obviously something that really lights you up, right? I feel
yeah,
like when we find our wheelhouse and we really enter it fully, I feel like there's just no way to fail, right? Like
what
we
is it?
really have to sabotage ourselves in the worst possible way in order to make it all come crashing down,
What is
right?
my friend Kiara Jones, the shine strategist? You know Kiara.
Yep.
What did she say? You can't fail at being you. I mean, that's it, 100%. So as long as you can get into that alignment, right, and embrace, the authentic you and really go full force, you're absolutely right. You can't fail. There's no failing. But
Right. And
actually, you know what? If you fail, it's okay too. So I'm a big proponent of failing because I
absolutely.
failed really well, Dawn.
Right, me too. And I have to, pick myself up and remind myself that failing isn't the end. It just means you've eliminated something else that doesn't work for you.
Exactly.
Right? Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Um,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
also feel like the authenticity is something as women that we really have to work at and give ourselves permission, because I feel like as society and our families try to raise that out of us, right? I feel like it is 2020, and I only have just one child, my son, and I really wished that I also had a daughter, because I wanted to raise her the way I felt like I wanted somebody to raise me, like, be loud,
Yeah.
show up,
Yeah.
make sure
Yeah.
the people know you're in the room, none of that, cross your legs, be a lady, shh, quiet. Nobody wants to
Yeah.
hear that. You
Yeah.
know, I even dating advice from my mother. Well, don't make weird noises. I was like, what are you talking about? Weird noises. Well, sometimes when you're watching a movie, I was like, what?
Wow, that was unsolicited,
Right?
feedback.
Like, wow, I was hoping just not to sweat too much on the date,
Yeah.
mom, but thanks for adding in more anxiety. So I
Yeah.
really feel like they try to take that all away from us. And really that is our superpower, is being ourselves, right?
Absolutely. I think you're 100% spot on. I think we get more cues and direction and guidance as to how to be something other than what we are, more than we get that same kind of energy and attention around like, just be you, just be you. And, I loved turning 30. I love turning 40. Man, I love turning 40. And I cannot freaking wait to turn 50, Dawn. I just feel like with each, change of the, decade or my life, every milestone, like I get so much closer to just not giving a shit,
Oh,
and
you can say it, man.
that's a
They're just
huge
words. Yeah.
that's a
The
huge
fucks that we
part
have
of it.
left to give are very few.
But that's where it starts. Like you're gonna miss being you if you're giving any kind of fuck anywhere along the line. You know what I mean? I mean, Dawn, I'm so kind. I'm compassionate. I treat everyone the way I want to be treated. It's not like I'm just giving, a giant middle
Right.
finger to the world.
Correct.
But in a sense, I'm just saying, like, I appreciate where you are in your journey. I take you as you are. I'm gonna be me where I'm at right now, and we're all gonna be good with it. you know
Right.
it,
Exactly.
it it just eliminates so much, right? Like, I'd rather we've gotten to know each other, what, in the last few months, really. I mean, first social media, we've met a couple times in person. Life is short. Like, why have any kind of pretense or any kind of illusion to who we are, what we do, or what we think? Just be direct, be real. And I feel like it just saves time, man. Like, maybe
It
that's
does.
it. As you get older, you're just like, I do not have the time to dance this little dance. And I
Yeah,
just
just
don't.
ask me what you
No,
want to ask me.
you know
Stop with all the preamble. What do you want?
exactly. But I will have to say, I 100% have to say, it may not be the case for everyone, but my kind of really fully coming into my own has almost paralleled with this journey into entrepreneurship. So it allowed me a lot of the freedom, surprisingly, to just be myself. If I was going to do this, I had to do it like this. Like, you can leave a job and find another job. You can't really leave yourself. So if I was going to do this, I wanted to walk into it as Jessica, 100%, and really just get out of it maybe what I wasn't able to in those other spaces. So anyways, I just wanted to point that out. It's been a huge, huge factor and a huge freedom. I know I've heard you say it on some of your interviews.
No,
Like,
absolutely it
just such
is.
a joy to do what you love. Do it as you.
Right. Because um my first reference into that was when my mom was dying. I was like, I'm just going to go
Oh,
forward
sorry.
with like the mindset of, I just left the doctor and he said, you have 6 months to live. Because my mom died at 61. That's young still for, you
Very,
know, and she had so
very.
many regrets. And I was like, well, that's what I'm taking from this. I'm going to eliminate that and I'm going to go forward. You have 6 months to live. What's important, right? There's so much that falls away when you frame something that way, right? Like,
Yep.
I can't be bothered worrying about what this person is thinking about me. Like, that's their business, it's not my business, right?
Yep.
Because they didn't take the time to get to know me. They're just making up shit. That's fine.
Mhm.
Anybody who wants to listen to that, that's also fine. You
Mhm.
know, my
Yeah.
people don't listen to that. My people know me. So who am I trying to convince?
Yep. Yeah.
Right? And that's just one example. But when you frame things that way, it really, like, yeah, I can do this also.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the hard stuff, you look at it differently. Like, well, if I don't do it, who's gonna?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And
Or that same thing is going to be staring me in the face, tomorrow. And, while it may not be the most fun thing or what I want to be doing, trust me, there are elements of my job that scare me to death, Dawn, or just cause me so much anxiety if I let it. If I let it. And some days, I'm telling you, I'm not the best at it. But, you know, just it always feels better if you attack it and address it.
yes,
you
I'm
know and you get to feel that there are, you know, natural chemicals that are released in your body when you overcome something. So, you know, it's kind of like I'd rather have that feeling than that lingering feeling when you're going to bed that, oh, I didn't get it done, and the list that's waiting for me, and what is she going to do if I don't do this, and all of the above. Like, just attack it, get it done, and then you've got the next day. You know, it's like a clean
Right.
slate. You get to start again. Um,
Right. I am definitely of the mindset of I'm a leaper, right?
yeah.
Like take me to the edge of the cliff and I'm not going to talk about it with you. I'm just going to go, right? I'm not going to talk
Everybody's
about
so
how
when we get to the cliff,
whether
what's the plan? Dawn's already jumped. Like
I
she's already
am, right? Because I can't bear to think about all the scenarios of, will I fly? Will I break myself? Am I going to die? All those things. It's like that is more anxiety provoking for me than just leaping and failing.
yeah,
I can work with the failure. Now
yeah,
I know what else to do next. When you're
exactly.
stuck in that place of not
Yep,
acting,
yep.
it's worst.
It is. It is. It's worse for you, you know, psychologically, spiritually, physically. You probably would fare better just throwing yourself over the cliff haphazardly and not thinking about it
That's me
than,
though.
you
The
know,
story of my
trying
life.
to, you know, prepare for every little thing. You literally can't. So,
Right.
yeah, great analogy, John. I'm gonna
Thank
think of
you.
you flying over a cliff.
Totally. If you ever spend more than 5 minutes with me, like walking somewhere, you will find that I am a faller. Like, because I've got
Dawn, we
so much.
have that in common.
Oh
Oh
my
my,
God. Thank you.
you know,
I
it's
get,
so funny. People, you know, people like kind of you know, chart their life based on like, oh, it's been or whatever. Like maybe you've come through a illness and you've been in remission. No, with me, it's like literally like, wow, I haven't fallen in like 6 years. Like I
oh
clock
my
it to
God.
like
Thank you.
my
You know,
last fall. Like my
the,
ankles, Dawn. I don't know what is wrong with them. They're ill suited for the body I was given. Like they won't withstand what I want to do with them. But oh my gosh, friends, I mean, going back years in my life, will say everyone would agree who's known me all along my path. Like, oh yeah, yeah, she's known to fall. Like she's had some good ones. I mean,
oh
literally
yeah.
on dates,
Yeah.
you know, in sports, like you name. Like I've had the falls of a lifetime, Dawn. I'm so
Yep.
glad we connect on that.
Yep. My memory on my Facebook that came up this morning was from 2010. And apparently I had been on a trip somewhere. And the highlight that came up in that memory was, and I didn't fall once. La, la. But, in the middle of 8th Ave, 8th Street, in the city, like running across and right in the middle and then laughing hysterically while all the cars are waiting for me to get up and get out of the way. Like, here she
Dawn,
is.
faller, yeah.
Anyway, okay, that was a great distraction. I love to know that that I have a friend in that.
Yes, you're
Okay,
my
so like,
fall sister.
how do we talking about, because really, seriously, hustle and flow, that's when I think about my hard days, I honestly, I think about you for a minute and I go, what would Jessica do? Because no, seriously. Um,
Okay.
the positivity you put out on the regular, the every time I see you, it's not, how some people are so super positive, but you walk away and you go, wow, that's a really big mask for some scary shit, right? That's
Mm,
see,
very
it's
scary.
authentic.
Yeah.
It's authentic, but there are like how, because you've got to have ebbs in your flow, right? That's
Yeah.
just life.
Yeah. Oh,
How do you not get stuck, or how do you get unstuck when those happen? Especially around times like this where there are all the distractions. It's easy to get stuck in an ebb because you can busy yourself with all the other things that should take priority.
yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 Oh my God. If you saw my laundry right now, even the dishes in my sink, I mean, I'm getting to them, but they're here. Um, I, where to even start? How do I avoid them? I would say a lot of that comes down to the practice that I've just gotten into of kind of being very, very decisive about who and what I'm going to allow in my energy field, if that makes sense.
Yep.
You hear this whole like being, protecting your energy.
Yep.
That became very, very, very essential for me to learn to do and to do, on a consistent basis. It's not an easy thing because it really may mean that certain people, key people, or people you think are key in your life, may not be a match for what allows your energy to really vibrate at its highest. It's going to set off my dog in the
I
back.
know. That's what I was just thinking.
This conversation will just turn into dog TV. But it's not an easy process, and it's not one that happens overnight most times, because it really does take kind of sifting through the people in your life, the actual environments that you put yourself into. A lot of times we think, oh, like all of this, why does it always happen to me? Why is it always like very victim kind of mindset versus victor mindset, which is, I don't have to go there today, or I don't have to, celebrate the holiday in this way. It's not necessarily an easy thing, because then, you've got the, everyone in the bleachers giving you their 2 cents. But once you kind of get into that routine and you build that muscle up, it becomes much easier. It's just literally, I envision, like little hands all around me, protective little hands that are just like, nope, nope. You've seen that, like,
Yes.
that Shaq meme where he's like, negativity, like, I literally feel like I'm walking around that all day. But then there are other hands, this is very weird, that are reaching out, that are like, ooh, I like that. That's good energy. Or, oh my God, this space just feeds my soul. Like, I love the design in here. And a palette is one of them, right? Like,
Yes.
it's just such a space, but it's working at, staying in that zone as much as possible. And one way that I do that is, instead of, spending my time maybe being around certain people or in certain situations, I'll pick up a book and read, but I'll read with intention. I'm reading something that's really feeding me. It's helping me grow professionally, or it's helping me, really grow into myself or spiritually. Spend my time doing that. I write in a gratitude journal every morning. So, even if it's only 2 things, because I'm rushing or something's going on, I mean, I'm thankful for something. I'm thankful for waking up today.
Right.
My God, I'm so thankful for this sun. I love sunlight. So I focus on that. And then, in terms of keeping people away, it's also finding the right people. So finding your tribe. My partner, my fiance, is just literally such a gift and a blessing. I mean, he's very much shares the same mindset. So how amazing is that? How many of us are in relationships where it's like, this person just is not on this frequency that I'm on, and it brings me the hell down every day. I'm having to lift myself up and also carry this person and make sure they're happy. And no, like we know we're in charge of our own happiness as individuals. And when we're at our best, my God, the 2 of us together are just, we're a force.
Right.
So I'm throwing a lot out, but this is sort of what makes me tick, I guess. I mean,
What
that's
about
the recipe.
other people? Who else do you surround yourself with at those times, or do you gravitate towards in those times? Because I think it's really hard as entrepreneurs, especially this year, but in general, entrepreneurs, a lot of us are at a home alone in front of our computers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's really easy to get stuck because we're not in a office setting where there's other people, like, let's just bounce over to that cubicle, have a conversation, lift myself up. Oh, things aren't so bad when you're home alone, or your work is very just solo.
Yeah.
Who do you
Well,
turn to?
I definitely will respond to that. I guess the first place I would start with that is, I freaking love being alone.
I do too.
I've realized, I think it's the older I get, I think we're tricked into thinking, I'm a very outgoing person. That doesn't mean I have to be, like up in the club and like which, trust me, I tried to kind of live that life. I actually like a life of a little more solitude and peace and quiet. So I don't always feel like I need to seek outside, upliftment kind of thing. But I do get that some people are on that track, which is fine. So the people I do reach out to are I pick up on people's energy, right? And on their vibe. Sounds very hoo-hoo, I'm sure, to some people. I don't give a shit, Dawn. It makes
Me
sense
either.
to me because it works. So like you, for example, I think we met on social media somehow. And I knew right away. People exude it, right? So, where you can't even miss it when you're on a social media platform. I got it right away from you. It wasn't just the words you were saying. It's literally how you present. You radiate it. So I'm drawn to that, and I'm drawn to you. And I'm so glad we know each other.
Me too.
And I can always count on, it doesn't matter. Even if you're posting something and you've had a crappy day, it's the way you frame it. It's your humor. It's whatever it is. I can always count on, when something from Dawn crosses my, timeline, it's always going to bring me, to a good place. There are other people where I count on the opposite, and I've had to stop following and so on and so forth, especially around, I don't even want to get into it, but around, that early November,
Yes, ma'am.
change period of change. So you, for one, I have, long time friends, of course, who don't even live around here. So it's, whenever we can get on the phone or get a call, they're definitely plugins. I've joined since COVID and being an entrepreneur, I've joined or created some different groups to kind of fill that need. And one of them that I've joined is this 4:30 a.m. club. I get up every Monday morning at 4:30 a.m. and log into a Zoom with, I think 5 or 6 other, ladies. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all in different industries, very different. We're in different countries, in fact. But we have really deeply connected. We all say it, we're almost like addicted to that 4:30 a.m. Like we can't wait for it. Like, oh, it's been a week. I miss you guys, But we talk about our ups and downs in business, what we're going to be working on for the next week. We, ask for help or support if we need it from each other. So that's been a great plug-in. I just look to find those kinds of groups and people, even now during the shutdown, that I can plug into. And I'm really quick to say, let me set up a Zoom. I want to see your face and talk to you and read your expressions. So, I think that as much as, being very clear and decisive about what you keep out, you have to be just as clear and decisive and intentional in who you then let back in. It's kind of like you clean your house, but then you want to be very mindful about, well, I like this plant, and I like your space looks beautiful, Dawn. So I like this,
Thank you.
little deer head that I'm going to hang. Like, you chose everything with intention, right? And if we can do that in our own home space, and we all love to decorate, you can be just as, selective with who and what you bring into your energy field.
Right. And I think, again, as women, we need to find that place where we finally give ourselves permission to do that.
Yes.
Right. Because why do
Yes.
we think we need to entertain so many negative people in our lives? And your
Yeah.
first clue is if the first reaction after you leave that person is a deep sigh of relief, or you're kind of like shaking things off, that should be your first clue. Why did you put your time and energy? You just gave that person your time and energy, and this is what you got back.
Yeah.
It's not a fair exchange.
It's not, but thank God, and how much gratitude I have for having that that sign or that guidance in the form of that sigh or shaking it off. Because honestly, Dawn, I think for a lot of years I wasn't really awake to that. I wasn't even plugged into where I would notice that. Maybe I didn't even have those reactions. And I just kept cycling through those same circles of people, or those, wanting to be, I don't know, on some, stage or in some other group or some other circle. And it just wasn't ever feeding me in the way that I needed it to. It was actually taking from me.
So
And it was,
much.
it was preventing me from actually being on the path I needed to be on.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so
And
I
those,
love guidance. I love guidance like that. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that's duly noted. Like, never again.
yeah. And since we are so similar and,
Yeah.
you talk about, you can feel people's energy. I've, it's, and everything is always right on my face. That used to get me in trouble in school. I'd just be sitting at my desk and my thoughts would cross my face and teachers would go, "Oh, Dawn, do you have something to say?" And I'd be like, "I'm just sitting here quiet. What did I do?" And then, friends started telling me, "Oh my God, your face. Can you control that? Don't ever play poker." Um,
Never.
so like, I will be at somewhere and meeting a lot of people, and there are people I know immediately like, "Oh yeah, no, like absolutely not. Hi, nice to meet you. Let me move on."
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. But I have found though, um, because I try to make it a practice to take people where they are too, and have that level of compassion that, we're all at different points in our journey. We're all, that, what's that quote, like we're all dealing with something that,
Yeah,
I don't know
man.
how it goes, like we don't always know what the next person is kind of carrying. It's still that person's responsibility and their choice as to how they deal with it. But we not everyone has the tools, not everyone has the support, etc. So, but it's been really interesting to, and my fiance will do it too. He's great at it. My God, he's so much better than me at this. But he, where you just literally return nothing but like kindness and good energy, and even when someone is being like literally like downright nasty. I mean, not, don't put yourself into danger, but we've had a couple experiences where like literally you see the person kind of, maybe they don't fully transform in front of you, but you see them like kind of turn around from that position and just come a little closer to the light, let's say. And that's really, I enjoy that. And I feel like it's also, you know it's the whole idea, um, of kind of lifting others as you climb. So, as I kind of accelerate into getting closer to who I am and my purpose and where I want to be, it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel that, I don't want to say duty or responsibility, but I feel like it's part of my walk at least
Mhm.
to, do what I can to, give other people a little glimpse into, this is possible for you too.
Right.
You got to do it on your own. You got to find your own way. I can't tell you, I can't show you, but let me, at least like shine a little of the light back toward you. Maybe you've never had light, shown on you before, and how,
Correct.
what kind of person would that create? So why am I surprised that you're so angry or so wound up? Of course, So anyhow,
So mindset,
yes,
right? Like it's everything.
it is.
Absolutely everything.
It
So
is.
how do you reset when you kind of tip off the wagon a little bit?
I really believe and I recognize that what I put out is what I'm gonna end up getting back. So, um, it's all about attraction, is what it comes down to for me. So, if what I'm wanting out of the world and out of this experience is good things and abundance and laughter and joy and whatever, ecstasy, whatever it is, then, I've got to also provide that to the universe. And I've got to have my mind on at a place where, you know, that's the energy, and that's the, how do I even put it, Dawn? It's so hard to even put into words, but to really train my mind on goodness, and on abundance, and not be focused on, or be stuck in the mire of, you know, what I don't have, or what I wish to have, or what I wish I could be, or all of those things. Like, really just from where you are, you already have so much, to be grateful for. You have so many gifts, you have so many, so focus on those things, and embrace those things. And it's like, as soon as you kind of start to do that, it levels you up to the next. And before you know it, you're getting where you want to be. You're finding the people you need. You're being directed where you need to go. And that's the flow. So that's what I call the flow, right? So hustle and flow. But that's what I call the flow. And it's staying in that. And I'm not going to lie, there are moments, there are experiences, there are people that will kind of like threaten to pull you out of that, right?
Because
Or
it serves them.
yes, or we like to think that they have some power to pull me out. You have not one bit of power over me.
Unless we
I'm
give it away, right?
I'm allowing you to take me out of this and make me mad, or I'm allowing you to make me feel small. Like, that's all an illusion, and it's something I'm allowing in that moment. So it's definitely work. I'm not gonna lie. It's work. You get to a point where it doesn't feel like work, but in those moments where you're being taken out of that, okay, but I've got to actually, refocus. So whatever it is that helps you get back there. For me, a lot of times it's fresh air, sitting quiet, breathing, music, whatever kind of music speaks to you. And singing. Like, I love to just sing loud and proud and terribly, but I love to sing. um, so it's the worst when I have the AirPods in and nobody even hears what I'm attempting to sing. They just hear me all over. But it's, he's behind me right now petting my dog. Like, whatever simple thing can just bring you back. It's learning what those things are and using them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can we go back and recapture, because you
Sure.
used it a couple of times, abundance?
Yes.
Like, I would like to talk about that, because I feel like some people, they focus on just the money part of things,
Oh, yeah.
right? Of abundance. And it's like, really, we all can get there.
Yes.
We all can get there, but abundance means so much more than that. And I feel like we don't really get to the money abundance if we haven't embraced all that abundance actually means, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
when we focus on what all abundance actually is and what that contains, the money part comes easily. At least that's been my experience. When we're not just focused on that end dollar amount, it's like all of a sudden, like, oh, whoa, it's happening over here. But I've been happily playing in this huge bouncy house of abundance, which
Yeah.
is, and every ball is something else.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think that, I think that maybe going back to, focusing on gratitude. So, my gratitude journal, I write in it every day. That's my, daily practice. But then that becomes this, book that I can go back through. And, if I'm grateful for it, then I must, it must be part of the abundance that's in my life. And I mean, I my gratitude journal is actually funny because, the things I'm grateful for are hilarious sometimes, but I am grateful for them. Or they're so simple. I'm grateful. I know I wrote one time, like, I'm grateful for this certain spatula I have, like, I literally, it never does me wrong, like, I love it. And it seems so, minute and so ridiculous. But the other thing is, I mean, honestly, we are so incredibly blessed, right? We are so incredibly blessed. I mean, even with bills staring you in the face and, you know, tasks that you've got to do and the stack of laundry and so on and so forth. I feel like I'm going to cry right now, Don. I completely understand that even on my worst day, I am so much more blessed than other people in this world, And so to think that I would at any point sit and look around my life and my world and feel like I lack for anything it's really sick and it's selfish, honestly. Um, and I have, on this entrepreneurial journey, right? We put everything into this when we started. I stepped out of a full-time job. I said bye-bye to the paycheck. Hi, buddy. Um, and we went through periods where it was like we were pulling on, reserves that weren't going to last long, and we had to make some decisions. We had to, simplify our lives. We had to, oh goodness, he sees you, Don.
He wants to know why I made you cry.
Right? He's like, why are you in my house? And I didn't even get to bark at you when you came in. But we had to decide, buddy, come on, here, have some banana bread because you're just gonna be mad. We had to decide that, we had to make tough decisions basically. And that could have left us feeling suddenly like, we were without, right? But, we did it, we really put so much intention around it. And we said, this is not about what we're losing. This is about what we were about to gain. This is about stripping away, things that maybe we honestly don't need. Like we found like we don't need that coffee table in the spare room or whatever it was that, so stripping those things away to make room for all that we knew was, really written in the stars to be ours. So, the idea of abundance is being extremely grateful, being at a place where you're so incredibly grateful with what you have in the moment, and opening yourself up to increased abundance as you stay on that path in your mind. And it's a very different way from how I used to live. I always, whether it was living paycheck to paycheck or, trying to compete with the Joneses and have this and have that, or look a certain way, or, do these rituals, you get your paycheck and you go get your nails done and you go like, why, what am I do? Who was I doing that for?
Right.
And when I could strip those things away, and honestly, I had to, in that moment, strip some of those things away, it was very freeing, and it kind of released blockages that were preventing the prosperity and the abundance from flowing my way. And it wasn't always money, Dawn. It was, meeting amazing people and having those connections open other doors to other opportunities. So maybe it's a 1-off, a 2-off, a 3-off, but eventually, yeah, there'll be maybe some financial abundance. But it's such an amazing ride along the way. I wouldn't trade it.
Right.
I wouldn't trade it.
Right. Because, I love that you brought in the rituals that we really don't even know what they were about or how we got there. Right. Like
Yeah.
the nails and all of that. Like, who does that serve? Like, what is that for? And, like every 2 weeks I get clipped to the quick, like I can't do the nails, that's just not me. But it does free you up when you let those things fall away that really aren't your choices.
Yeah.
It does free you up and it lets more of the real authentic you come out.
Yep. Yep.
And the more and here's the rub, we get so caught up, especially in our 20s, trying to be what we think we're supposed to be and look like who we're supposed to look like, eat how we're supposed to eat, date who we're supposed to date, all those things. The more we let the authentic us out, the more it brings those things that it attracts back to us are all the
Exactly.
things we need. It's the people we need,
Yep.
right? Like,
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm waking up in a dream of what it doesn't even make sense, but what I could have only dreamed my life could have looked like, and how I could have felt back when I was living that lifestyle of, trying so hard, you
right.
know.
And expecting it to happen because
Exactly.
that's what it's supposed to do when it's really
Exactly.
not, right? You have to
Exactly.
actually do it yourself. Like, we
Doesn't
need
work.
to be our own knight in shining armor, our own
Yeah.
fucking hero, right?
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
waiting for the man or the woman or whoever
Yeah.
you think is supposed to
Yeah.
come and complete your world for you.
Yep. Yep.
Create your own fucking world, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Good. A
Um,
good example for me. I was just moving my hair around. It made me think how many hours I spent straightening my hair or doing things that would keep my hair in a straight state so that I felt like I could fit the, executive mold in past career areas, what an amazing amount of wasted time. Number one, but number two, my hair has never been so healthy,
right.
and has never, it sounds so crazy, but my hair has never served me so well. You know what I mean? But it does.
No, yeah.
It's me. And I've worn it natural and curly now for so long. Like, I don't even know if the people closest to me would recognize me if I straightened it, because it's not who I am.
Right.
But think of the lengths we go to fit these molds that aren't even us,
Yep.
and
Yep.
how long are we going to do that? I remember sitting down with a good friend, Alyssa. um if you don't know her, remind me. I've got to connect you with Alyssa.
Okay.
um she's amazing. We sat down, and I think we ended up having coffee for like 6 hours, Dawn. But she's an entrepreneur. This was when I was first getting into this business. And I remember I was wearing my Chuck Taylors at the time, a pair of Chuck Taylors. And I sat down, I sort of said something like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have time to, I'm just coming from walking through like a really, rundown house. So of course I'm going to wear something like that on my feet. But I said, oh, I wouldn't normally or whatever. And as we got talking, she was amazing because she was just like, I thought that was part of your whole, flair. It really suits you and this and that. And I'm like, well, they are freaking comfortable. I love them. Like, yeah, if I could wear them all the time, I would. And then she was like, why can't you wear them all the time? And I was like, could I? Like, with a dress, with this? Like, what would that look like? What would that feel like? What would other people think? But then I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go with it. And we had so much fun. She was like, you get them in every color. You can get them in different like you can have fun with it, but you'll always be comfortable. You'll always be you. You'll be able at a moment's notice to walk into a, whatever, property you need to look at. And so from that point on, that's where I've stayed really with footwear. I mean, here and there I will put something else on, but really, I mean, it's been a long time since I've religiously worn heels, or my God, Dawn, stockings.
No.
Or
Yeah.
tights. Like,
Yeah.
just a word. Who wants to put on something called tights? So,
Exactly.
but
Thanks. Oh,
Oh God.
how much do you have to hate yourself?
Right? Spanking yourself all day. I mean, spanks can be fun, but yeah, not those. But but yeah, I just, oh buddy, it's all gone. You ate it all. I just feel like, you know, the closer you can get to living authentically, being yourself, being grateful, putting out the same goodness you want to get back, you know, the more you can do that, the more prosperity is going to come into your life. And, you know, it doesn't always mean money,
Correct.
but that's part of the mindset, is that you would see prosperity and you would see abundance as so many things. It's not just limited to, you know, the cash in your pocket or the money in your bank account. I don't
Right.
know.
Right. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
while we all need money in order
yeah,
to make all the things work,
absolutely.
right? But other than that, it's not like when I go to bed at night, I go, oh, money, I love you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Right? Or, I feel really crappy today. You don't call the bank. Please put
yeah,
me in touch with my millions now because that'll cheer me up. No, you call that person
yeah,
who gets you.
yeah,
Um, right? Because if
definitely,
those are the things we rely on way more than the money part in our life. That's just
definitely.
the other thing,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But
And
I love
I know you wanted this conversation to touch on, you know, how do we maintain basically during this season, which for a lot of people means, you know, being stressed or overspending, or, you know, going above our means to do what exactly. You know, I was actually talking to my mother the other day, and, you know, there are all these restrictions now, right? And it's changing everyone's, you know, holiday landscape and what we've always known and what we've always done and so on and so forth. I'm that kind of person anyways, where, you know, that phrase just drives me crazy, you know, like, oh, why do you do this? Because it's what we've always done. Like, what? You know, there's so many other ways to do things. There's so many other things to experience. You're really limiting yourself. You know, you're almost putting yourself in a cage with that mindset and that construct of this is the only way we can do this. You know, not everyone's there, but, you know, I think if we can embrace this time that we're all living right now as an opportunity instead of some kind of, you know, uh, I don't know, punitive kind of thing, or, you know, where you're being told you have to do something. Take it as the biggest message and guidance from the universe to scale down, to simplify, to change it up, and go with that. And I think people, I would hope people, you know, would turn around afterward and say, my God, that really was pretty nice. It was really great that I didn't have to pack up my whole car and, you know, stay up till 3 a.m. wrapping gifts till my fingers bled, or, you know, clean everything from top to bottom. You know, do it if you want to, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
where we feel that, you know, we that all of these things are required for the holiday to be something we would enjoy.
Right.
And it's all a lie, Dawn. It's all a big fat lie.
Yeah.
um and I'm all for, you know, celebrating and being around family and being with the ones you love and all of that, and I do get that's a hard part, and there are people who are having to spend holidays alone, and that's, you know, that's can be tough. I'm not I don't want to minimize that at all, but um I've done it before, pre-COVID. I've just made the decision that I was going to break from tradition and have a very, very simple holiday. We did that last year at Christmas. I had never, since being a mother, my daughter had never woken up in our own home on Christmas. She'd never had that experience of just coming out of the room in your PJs and being home and being comfortable. Not that we were uncomfortable where we were, but we were always guests, or at someone else's house, and we had to make that trip and we had to travel, and I had to schlep all the gifts and the presents and everything, and it was exhausting. And
Yeah.
I would end the holiday, instead of feeling uplifted and refreshed and renewed, I felt exhausted. I felt absolutely just whipped and a little resentful, wishing that I could have just stayed home too, or what have you. But last year we just made the decision we were going to just stay here, just the few of us. We weren't going to have to worry about where the dog would have to be, or if he would be annoying to other people if we brought him, or anything like that. He's such a part of our family, and we could cook whatever we wanted to cook, eat whatever time we wanted to eat, do what felt right to us on that day. And it was amazing. It was so simple, so simple. So, that's how we were going to go into these holidays anyways. So all these restrictions don't really affect me, but I want for other people to see it as and embrace it as an opportunity to do something different and see where it takes you. It doesn't have to be a negative.
The first thing I did was take my deep clean list and throw it away. Like, not happening. No one's coming. I'm not doing it. Those cobwebs can stay right there up in that corner.
Merry Christmas, Spider.
That's right. That's just a different kind of tinsel. In fact, you guys, dust bunnies, get together. Make bigger dust bunnies. I'll hang them on the tree. I have 5 trees for my house this year.
Oh, it's amazing.
Right? Because now I've fully embraced, this is the year I become the crazy tree lady. I can crowd my house with trees because there's not going to be any people here. So I started one. It's my Martha's Vineyard tree.
Love
right?
it.
I've got my Dremel. I'm drilling holes in my sea urchins and my little
Oh, that's gonna be pretty.
starfish and stuff. And
we're like a coastal thing.
Correct,
Ooh.
right?
Love it.
I was like, if the 5 trees works out next year, I'm going to have 7 in the house. They're all different sizes. They're not all huge, but I love Christmas ornaments. Yeah. Like I keep collecting them, and there's only so many that fit on one tree.
Yeah.
Like when I travel, I don't buy t-shirts and stuff. I usually will seek out Christmas ornaments for that place. Like even, I have Paris ornaments, Rome ornaments, ones from Ireland. So that every year when I trim the tree, it's like I have all these memories come back of all these places. Right.
Yeah. So I love that.
So I'm envisioning that at some point I'll have one tree that is just those travel ornaments too.
Ooh, I like
that. Because then I have all the childhood ornaments from my son, all the ones he made, the ones that, people, that we got together and stuff. I was like, I'm just going to be I'm not the crazy cat lady. I am the crazy Christmas tree lady now.
I like that. I like that.
So there's always new things you can do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can sit in the corner and be miserable about that we're not with the 2,500 people we're usually with, or we can say, guess what? I can stay in my PJs all day. In fact, after I take my shower, I'm going to put on a new pair of PJs.
Fresh PJs,
yeah. And we're going to eat, I don't know, we're going to buy an extra large pizza, and that's going to be breakfast and lunch. And then we'll think about what we're having for dinner. Like all the rules are gone.
Yep. Yeah, we had I'm trying to remember what we even ate. I mean, it wasn't that untraditional, but it wasn't a huge meal of any kind. But we played blackjack like all Christmas because my daughter wanted to learn to play. And her dad was able to be here. She was able to have Christmas with her dad on Christmas Day for the first time in years. we're
Oh,
not
nice.
together, and usually we would leave town, so that would leave that option off the table. So it was really nice. And I'm the crazy tree lady who leaves, oh goodness, leaves the tree up until, February, March. I'm that lady. So,
I'm not allowed to be that lady. Chris has
oh my
strict rules.
goodness, gotcha,
He's like,
gotcha.
I'm like, can it stay up until New Year's at least? He's like,
Yeah,
yeah, but after New Year's, man, everything has to go away. All
exactly,
right. All
exactly.
right. Um, well, I really enjoyed this chat with you. I hope we've opened some people's who minds to, to look at abundance differently, to look at negativity and spin it around
Yeah,
differently,
yeah.
which was the whole meaning of having this conversation with you, was to help people get unstuck from their own stuckness, because
Mhm.
right, we put ourselves there. We don't like to
We
think
do.
that, but
I think that's what it comes down to, is the personal choice.
it really
Uh,
is.
and there's it's tough, but if you make one choice in life, make it about you and how you're going to live and how you're going to think. It makes all the difference. Really does.
Yeah, it sure does. Victim is not anything I ever want to wear. Like, I am so anti-victim. Like, no, don't feel sorry for me. Do not pity me.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute. I will pick myself up. Just
Yeah.
stand back a minute. I'll be
Yep.
okay.
Yep. Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because that's
Absolutely.
the only I can make that choice for myself.
You're right. You're
You
right.
know,
Yep.
and I feel like that's all of us. So thank you so much,
You're
Jessica.
so welcome.
I can't wait to have a conversation not on camera and talk about this construction business now. New
Oh yeah.
construction. Holy crap, that is so exciting.
I know. I will have some good news for you with that. It's very
Awesome.
exciting.
Awesome. So enjoy your turkey day, however that looks to you.
Thank you.
And
You as well.
thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, and have a really wonderful day, my friend.
You're welcome, Dawn. Thank you so much for having me on.
You are welcome.